Okay, I'm going to go through this problem fairly quickly, so pause the video and take notes as appropriate. And this video is only going to answer part A. Okay, and there may be other ways to do this problem, but I did it with some coordinate geometry and some theorems on medians. So we've got triangle ABC. I let the vertex A be at the origin, the vertex C at x sub 2 comma 0, and then B can be anywhere you want, x sub 1, y sub 1, or its coordinates. And we're drawing median AM, which means it's going to the midpoint of the opposite side. So the coordinates of that midpoint, using the midpoint formula, average of the x's, comma average of the y's, gives us this for the coordinates of the median. And one of the theorems on medians is, of course, that they all meet at the same point, all three medians of a triangle, and that the distance from one vertex to this meeting point of the medians is twice the distance from the meeting to the midpoint of the other side. And we've constructed BK so that the ratio from here, this distance is 1/3 of the total distance. So you envision this segment AM as being 12, then this distance is 2/3 of that, which is 8. And so what we end up concluding is that this is actually the midpoint of segment AO. Okay, and we're going to focus on finding the coordinates of point K, the coordinates of point N, and then, oh, by the way, this last sentence here tells us that the three medians divide the big triangle into 6 triangles of equal area. So every one of these triangles is 1/6 S. And we want to find the area of this triangle right here. And if we could find out what fraction that is of this triangle, AOQ, then we'd have that fraction of 1/6 S would be the fraction of the entire area. So how do we find the midpoints of K? Well, the fact is that this distance is 1/3 of the entire distance. So we can say the x-coordinate of this point K, we start at the x-coordinate of 0, and we're traveling x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2 in the x direction. We want to take 1/3 of that. So 1/3 of that is 1/6 x sub 1 plus x sub 2. And same thing for the y-coordinate. So that's where these values came from. Now, how do we find the coordinates of N? Well, if we could find the equation of BK and then find out where that equation intersects the x-axis, that is when y equals 0, we'd have the coordinates of point N. And so here's how we do that. I actually calculated the slope of BK here. Change in y over the change in x. That simplifies to 5y sub 1 over 5 x sub 1 minus x sub 2. And then on board 3, I wrote the equation of line BK using the point slope formula, where x sub 1, y sub 1 is the coordinates of point B, and this is the slope. And now when we've got that equation, we want to know what is the x-coordinate of that point when y is 0. So we put a 0 there. I move this term to the left side of the equal sign, then multiplied both sides by the reciprocal of x's coefficient. That's what we get. Simplify by distributing this quantity times each term in there. It ends up simplifying to x sub 2 over 5. So if we go back to board 2, this distance right here is always 1/5 of the entire distance from A to C. So how do we find the area? Well, we can use the formula, the area of a triangle, when we know 2 sides and an included angle is 1/2 AB Those are the lengths of the two sides that include the angle, and I labeled it P. So that's the formula we're using right there. So the area of triangle AKN is 1/2 the distance from A to K, using the distance formula, is the square root of this mess. The distance from A to N is x sub 2 over 5 times the sine of the included angle. And the area of triangle AOQ is 1/2 times, well, the distance from A to O is twice the distance from A to K. So it's just twice this red underline thing, which I just wrote a radical there. And then the distance from A to Q was, since this was the midpoint of AC, it's half of x sub 2. And if we set up a ratio, almost everything cancels out. These radicals cancel out. The x sub 2's cancel out. We could do it that way. The sines of p's cancel out. And we end up getting the ratio 1:5. So the area of triangle AKN is 1/5 the area of triangle AOQ. But the area of triangle AOQ, by the median theorem about the medians dividing the big triangle into 6 triangles of equal area, that triangle is 1/6 given S. So 1/5 of 1/6 is 30, 1/30. So S over 30 is a formula for the area of triangle AKN. Okay, there you go. Hope that helped. I'm going to look at part B and maybe post a video for that one too. There you go. Hope that helped.